Alan wants to know if he outsources everything in his business, can he still sell it? Hey there, everyone. It's David Barnett from davidcbarnett.com, the blog site, YouTube channel, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon podcast, where I talk about buying, selling, financing, and managing small and medium-sized businesses. Got a question from Alan. He left it as a comment in a video. It was the interview I did with Aaron Clarey about minimalism. I'll put a link to it here. Alan asks, suppose you manage to outsource all aspects of a business, how can you then sell it? Well, it's a great question, Alan. First of all, let's tackle the word outsourcing, right? Outsourcing became a word that was used, when there were big changes going on in the economy. I remember first hearing that word like in the 80s and 90s, and you would have like a big company, maybe like General Motors, right? And at one time, they hired the janitor, and the janitor was a GM employee. And then at some point, it started to make more sense to just hire another company to do the janitorial work, who would have their own employees and they would manage things differently. Why? Well, probably because the janitors that worked for GM were part of all the same pension programs and benefits plans, et cetera, that the auto workers were. And they probably realized, you know what, we could probably get the floors cleaned for a lower price if we went with some kind of outsourced solution. And then, so outsourcing was typically a word used to describe what happens when we do something ourselves and then we're going to hire someone else to do it instead. So big businesses outsource, the government outsourced, school boards outsourced, all that kind of stuff. When you talk about a normal business, if they choose to outsource some function that they're doing today, what is happening is they're just engaging in a supplier or vendor relationship with some other company who's going to do something. If you imagine a company that is growing, right? So let's say, in my own business, right? There's a monthly mail out I do for the people who are in the Business Buyer Adventure Group coaching program. So I could print off a bunch of pages here in my office and I could put them into envelopes and I could take them down to the post office. And in fact, the first few months, that's exactly what I did because I was trying to figure out the best way to do things. But it certainly wasn't the best use of my time. And it's not the best use of Yat Long's time either. And so what we do instead is we found a supplier who runs a business where all they do is print and put things in envelopes and mail them all day long, every day, all the time. That's what they do. And so they're doing it for many businesses. And because this is all they do, they're very efficient at that. And so all we do now is once a month, we prepare our documents, make them into PDFs and email them over to that other company, and they do it. So have we outsourced the monthly mailouts? Yeah, I guess we have, but does that make my business any less valuable? I would argue it makes it more valuable because now I'm not doing it and Yat Long's not doing it, and it's more efficient, right? And so if you think about some companies out there, Nike comes to mind, they contract out the making of the sneakers, other people ship the sneakers, other businesses distribute the sneakers, other businesses sell the sneakers. What is Nike doing? I guess maybe they're designing them, right? They're taking care of their advertising and stuff like that. But the more that you focus on strictly the area where you have the competitive advantage and you have the knowledge that you can leverage for maximum return, you want to do the highest value things all the time, then that allows you to be more profitable in the long run, more sellable. And I'll tell you, if there was a business for sale where everything was being done by other people and all you were doing, other suppliers, and all you were doing was just coordinating the efforts between them, then you could have a very valuable business on your hands. In fact, I know a guy who's in the newsletter business. He basically offers an outsourced newsletter service to other businesses who want to have a monthly mail out for their clients. And he's got a bunch of writers and editors and people who do the page layout. And all of this stuff is outsourced. And he runs his business from a yacht. And yeah, I don't think he'll be willing to sell though, because it's a pretty good life. Anyway, Ellen, I hope that answers your question. Don't be afraid to outsource. Don't be afraid to especially get lower value functions out of your business into the hands of somebody who can do it more efficiently because they're set up for efficiencies of scale and speed and all that kind of stuff. And great question though. If you're interested in buying a business, then you should head over to businessbuyeradvantage.com, where you can sign up for my online course. It'll take you through a case study from start to finish, talks about all the different aspects, how you find the business, how you analyze the business, how you finance the business, and the risks that are involved and how you can do things to control those risks. That's over at businessbuyeradvantage.com. And with that, we'll say see you later. Have a great day.